And here I am again, Patrice Bouidibila for Panasonic Live at IFA 2012 in Berlin. This segment will be dedicated to the LUMIX, but prior to that, I would like to carry on with my interview with two gentlemen from the National Geographic channel. Why is that? And what is it that what has that to do with Panasonic in general? Well, it has to do with the fact that Panasonic is having a partnership between the company itself and UNESCO. Why? Because Panasonic has made the environment central to all of its business activities and aims to be the #1 green innovation company within the electronics industry in 2018. Which is not a coincidence, it marks the 100th anniversary of the company itself. And therefore, part of their strategic partnership with the UNESCO World Heritage Center, they are also sponsoring a TV program called the World Heritage Special on National Geographic channel. And today I would like to continue my brief interview with Mr. Simeon Daus, who is Senior Vice President for Advertising Sales of National Geographic Channel, and Mr. Mark Francis, the Executive Producer of National Geographic Channel. And we have a little feedback. Simon, welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So you had some time to enjoy Berlin a bit?
Yeah, it was good. We went and had a nice meal.
You had a nice
Saw some
meal?
landmarks. It was very nice.
Sauce?
Landmarks.
Landmarks?
Yeah.
So
nice buildings, museums.
I really believe it must be hard to impress you guys because you're so familiar with like the most impressive places on this planet.
No,
Berlin's top of my list after today, I have to say. It's absolutely stunning.
I just say that just to please me, but I like that. I like that attitude. Simon, once again, like, what does the National Geographic Channel stand for?
Sure. So if you actually took it back to the society itself, which is where the channel was derived, one of their missions is to inspire people to care about the planet.
Yeah.
And I think that that's very much held with National Geographic Society today, and that's very much what we've taken on as a brand in terms of where we want to position ourselves in a lot of our programming. There's no doubt that we've now turned more into an entertainment company, so our breadth has gone a little bit wider than that. But yeah, absolutely, inspiring people to care about the planet.
But it sounds negative. Is it a negative thing to be entertaining when it comes to talking
No,
about
not at all.
serious
I mean,
issues?
at the end of the day, we're a television network. We need to be entertaining. If we're not entertaining, our viewers aren't going to watch us. And I think, true to the point of how we're going about approaching the programming for National Geographic World Heritage Special this year, Access 360, we're taking a slightly more contemporary approach. It's not so academic. It's not the old school of telling the story about World Heritage Sites because we want to garner more viewers. It's all about audience. It's all about ratings. And if viewers aren't watching it and enjoying watching it, then they're not going to come back.
And about this partnership now with Panasonic, because apparently you seem to have also the same interest in the world.
Absolutely. So look, from our perspective, having Panasonic and UNESCO join forces and come to us and ask us to be their global media partner, one is a huge honour, but practically works incredibly well for us. If we were to look at the history of National Geographic, obviously we've had a history with UNESCO through the society, through the Maps division, and we've created many hours of content prior to. So it's a natural extension of where our brand is. It's an expectation from our audience that it's the type of content we'll have. So all in all, with the breadth of our channel, it ties it up very well as a nice partnership.
So what is it really that you are aiming for when it comes to the way that you display the world? Is it really that you just have, because you're known for very impressive pictures in general, is that the aim by showing beautiful pictures that people should start thinking about it and preserving it? Or do you also like to show the other side that people know, what's going to be in the future there if we're not going to be careful with our planet?
I don't think that personally people respond well to very preachy kind of storytelling or didactic storytelling. We don't want to go up there on a pulpit and say, if you don't do this, the Taj Mahal will disappear in 20 years. I mean, that may very well be true, but that's never really, certainly not the approach of the series. We've made a very conscious decision to show the passion that people have for preserving these sites, and not necessarily people that are directly connected with World Heritage. It might be, say, a tourist vendor working the Taj Mahal to someone whose life literally depends on these World Heritage sites. And it's only through human characters and emotion that I believe you can get people to care about these sites and get people to understand why they're culturally significant.
As you just mentioned, the Taj Mahal, which is also part of the World Heritage. I've learned today that there are over 900 spots when it comes
Yes.
to World Heritage. And you chose for your program 9 out of these 900. But what was your twist this time, just to come in with a new angle? Because the
Sure.
Taj Mahal, I've seen it on
Sure.
so many postcards before. What was your approach this time, just to make it new and notable?
Notable, right. Look, the first thing I'd say is, when you deal with a subject like World Heritage sites,
Yeah.
these are physical buildings. Television is not about static. Television is about movement and action. So we knew just from a producer perspective that the stories had to have action and had to therefore be very character driven. And that's how we got the emotion across. And to your point, you're exactly right. We took iconic sites but found very fresh angles and what we call a contemporary hook, so that audiences would come to Taj Mahal and say, oh, I know this building. So you leverage the familiar and the popular, but you present something new. Now, specifically in the case of, say, we've got some footage from the Amazon behind us. It's called the world's green lung because it absorbs so much carbon dioxide. But the very contemporary issue they're facing now is that balance may tip. So the Amazon may actually end up becoming a greater contributor of carbon dioxide because dying rainforests actually emit more carbon dioxide, which people don't know about. So when you delve into the story, you'll see that it's very contemporary, very up-to-date. With the Taj Mahal, what we did was, that was just a shot that you saw from behind the scenes, some behind-the-scenes footage. What we did is we looked into the story of these people who are now doing the first 3D scans of the Taj. It's a survey, the architectural survey of the Taj, which they never had before.
What is the benefit of doing so?
I'm sorry?
What is the benefit of doing so?
In order to conserve it, they need to really understand its foundations and its structure better. Because historically, the Taj Mahal was not meant to be entered by land, which every tourist goes. It was built on the banks of the river Yamuna. So the foundations of the Taj, they're quite a unique system that relied on this river, a river that has since dried up, partly because of environmental issues. So the question we asked in the Taj, which is quite provocative, is it actually potentially sinking, or is it tilting on its foundations? So you get a very action-packed, investigation into something very contemporary. And I think, for me, the most important thing is to look at World Heritage sites not as a history lesson, but as something that is very much, topical and relevant to our lives today. So that's how I think we try to make.
But still, I wouldn't understand where to start, because what you just mentioned there, I mean, I would never have the idea just to start looking there in the basement, if it's sinking, if it's stagnating, or anything like that. Who gives you these kind of hints? Is it social networking? A friend of yours is giving you, by the way, I just found out, or is there a library that you can look through just to find these kinds of information?
Some of it is, sometimes you see theories on the internet, academic institutions sometimes publish reports, but the old-fashioned way is still the best, which is you've got to make phone calls, you've got to knock on doors, you've got to meet people as you do your research. We found out about the Taj story in India through the University of Notre Dame. So, it may not be a very direct route, but that's just the hard work of doing a lot of actual research.
And while shooting, have there been any difficulties? I mean, is it that you just come in with your business card from National Geographic and they're like, oh yeah, please go ahead, shoot whatever you want, or is it sometimes a little bit far more complicated?
I don't think it's been that easy.
Yeah, it does help. I think the National Geographic name certainly helps. We have a great partnership with respected brands as well, with Panasonic and with UNESCO. That certainly helped open doors, but that still doesn't mean that the person you're asking to expose their life story to you in a very limited amount of time is necessarily going to be very open. So it is a challenge to gain that trust. In some of this behind-the-scenes footage you see here, for example, this is actually in the real tomb. That's the tomb of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz, the empress, that every tourist goes there. And one thing that happened during production, we were very lucky because those are not the real tombs. The real tombs are actually underneath a trapdoor. And it's almost never open to cameras. But because of National Geographic, because of our credibility, we were allowed to go in and actually film the tombs. So there was an image you saw earlier of a traditional craftsman replacing some of the gemstones on the tomb. That's actually the real tomb that most tourists don't get to see.
Yeah, but now people are just going to be very mad about it. It's like, oh, no, 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 no. I just watched National Geographic.
Correct. Yeah.
I know that this is the fake tomb. I want to go see the new one. I mean, that's going to cause some new problems.
Well, yeah, I think we'll be okay.
You'll be like, no, we're not going to tell the world about
Yeah,
it.
we didn't show exactly where the trapdoor was, so I think.
Well, you should tell me the next time that I'm going to be, if I ever going to make it over there.
Absolutely.
Also, I'm just saying, reading here about this one story where you had a rare shot of a dolphin, a boto dolphin. What's a boto dolphin?
They're river dolphins. They're endemic to the Amazon River.
Yeah.
They're pink in color, and they are certainly endangered. In the Amazon, there's like 2 seasons. You don't have 4 seasons. You have very wet and very dry. So we filmed during the very wet season where it's raining every day. There are no roads, so our crew has to travel by boat, like 1,000 kilometers, I think we covered during that production. And I think it was on one of the last days, the director of photography cameraman was kind of sleeping in the boat and sort of heard the sound. And he just woke up, and then all of a sudden there's a small pod of boto dolphins that literally popped out of the water.
And you immediately knew this is a boto dolphin?
Yeah, they're very distinct because they're pink. Yeah, there are not too many pink big dolphins around. So
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Then I also would have seen it as a boto dolphin.
Yeah.
Something else. I mean, what's very impressive when it comes to your work, it's like the imagery. It's great pictures and all of that. So I was kind of surprised, because maybe you can tell us something about that. May I have this camera? While in New York, you were shooting with the GH2, which, okay, it's a coincidence. It's a Panasonic, but how come that you're working with these kind of cameras?
Look, I mean, cameras like this are extremely useful in modern factual production. You know, we're constantly under a lot of pressure with time, firstly. Secondly, you know, we can't afford to have 3 large crews running around with big cameras. So it's very common, and the cameras like the LUMIX GH2 actually perform very well under these conditions, where we shoot, some of which you'll see now on screen.
This is actually the footage of...
Yeah. We don't use it, obviously, as the main video camera, but it plays a very important role as a supplementary camera. So we take footage. So I can shoot a lot of time lapses, close-ups of people like that. You know, I can shoot, you know, big, wide, what we call scene setters or general video, whilst my main crew is getting an interview with a character or doing some handheld work. So it's actually very complementary and allows us to make our shoots very efficient. So, I mean, it performed really well, so we're really happy with the results. And some of this footage will be incorporated into the episode on Statue of Liberty. I would say that the other thing is this camera made particular sense for us to use in New York, because the story of the Statue of Liberty is one of security issues. Ever
Right
since,
now?
Yeah, right now.
Okay.
So they've undergone a massive renovation project. What happened is after 9/11, security rulings made the Statue of Liberty a lot sort of harder to get to, and I think some of the features within the Statue of Liberty weren't deemed safe enough. So therefore, they've had to refurbish the place. So in a place like that, where you're working with high security and people are a bit nervous, then small cameras like that are obviously a lot more comfortable to use and draw less attention. So that was another reason we used it to supplement our shoot.
Yeah, but I would say I'm quite impressed also of the footage. So
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the GH2 anyway, so it was interesting just to see like what the guys from National Geographic have to say about that. The series will start in September.
Yep.
It includes 9 episodes. The first one will be in the Amazonas. What's going to be next then?
The Taj Mahal.
The Taj Mahal.
In October.
Which one we talked about? And when would be the New York episode?
The Kyoto comes after that, and then
New York
Statue
is
of Liberty is the fourth episode.
episode.
So there's a chance to watch it, of course, on the National Geographic channel. The other option would be, as demonstrated earlier, to see it via Viera Connect. There's an application dedicated to this one, and every month there's going to be a new episode being shown. Other than that, the chance would be just to see your program via Facebook. Where is that we will find you on Facebook?
Yeah, we have updates on Facebook of where you can view the program. In terms of actually being able to view the program there, no, but obviously we'll direct you to where all of the programming times are.
Well, so I'm going to be one of your new followers. And
Yeah,
I'm really
send us
looking
some
forward to
comments. Yeah.
Definitely. I'm really looking forward to it, especially also like when it comes to the Statue of Liberty. I don't know how many times I've been in New York. but I've never managed just to go to the Statue of Liberty. So this is just already by what you've been telling me about the Taj Mahal, I now feel like more and more interested just to see like, what you have to offer, considering the facts on behalf of the Statue of Liberty. So thank you so much for coming to Berlin just for the end.
You're welcome.
Wish you
Thank
best of luck.
Thank you.
Simon Dawes and Mark Francis from the National Geographic Channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, I had to come up with the GH2, of course, because APSA and my tablet. No, I'm keeping this camera because I think we will need it for our upcoming segment now, considering LUMIX. We're just going to change a bit like the surroundings here. And also, I don't want to forget to mention, just get rid of these cards here, that you still have the chance to win our daily prize. It's about the BTT 590 Full HD 3D Blu-ray Disc Home Cinema System. It's a long name, and it's a great prize that could be yours if you are willing and able to answer the correct question. And also, of course, you need a little bit of luck. We would like to know, how many tabletop speakers does the ST BTT 590 Full HD 3D Blu-ray Disc Home Cinema System features? Is it A, 4, or B, 2? So all the luck, 4 or 2, A or B. It's about Full HD 3D Blu-ray Disc Home Cinema System that you can win. So let's get rid of this sheet of paper. Let's keep the GH2 in my hand. And Mark, are you ready? Then join me, please, for our segment. Welcome back.
Hello, Patrice.
Were you able just to follow a bit this
yeah,
segment
very
here?
impressive. Very impressive indeed.
Also about the Taj Mahal.
Some of the imagery on there is absolutely fantastic, and that just shows really how, certainly the GH2 shots, how sophisticated that camera still is, and it's been around for a couple of years now.
Well,
and it's still
that's why I'm a huge fan of the GH2 by now. But once again, we have also a bunch of questions.
Let's do it. Yeah, fantastic.
By Jesus Albueda, who would like to know, how does the G5? Okay, apparently they're not so much of.
No, but that's why I brought the G5 just in case. So.
How does the G5 perform in low light conditions?
Well, the G5 reacts really well in low conditions to a number of things. One is the sensor. So we're using areas of the processing to improve low light by increasing what we call the ISO. And the ISO is allowing light onto the sensor and stopping it as well. And that's increased double over the G3 from last year. So it's now at 12,800. So if you're shooting in dark or things like sunsets or dusk, then you're able to get some really, good low light shots without any, anything getting in the way of shadows, and you don't need to use the flash either. So you can get some really good shots.
But can I use also the same when it comes to video?
Yeah, you can do it in video as well. You can do it in...
Because I thought like the ISO level is kind of limited when it comes to video.
It is, but you still can. And again, you can use it for your own advantage if you want to be a little bit creative as well. So you may want to be shooting in a grainy kind of way.
Yeah.
So you can use that low light to your advantage. But you can do it in video as well. So you can use the manual mode within the video for the camera to as you can, you've seen, you can do it.
Because I'm very surprised because everybody was been telling me it's always about getting rid of the noise.
Yes.
But for creativity purposes, it can be very helpful, especially when you just like have a lot of noise, and then when you go black and white, it has kind of a print type of look.
Yeah,
that's
black and white is key, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that you can get some really good, atmospheric shots through that. But you can do it both in photography and video. Absolutely.
But when it comes to the light conditions, all we can say is it has improved
massively
since the G3.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, Jesus, thank you for your question. We continue with a question coming from Kavita M. Can I record MP4 on the G5? I would say yes, because it's a common standard when it comes to
It
HD.
It hasn't been in the past, but all our new cameras now, the GF5, the LX7, majority of our compact cameras as well, including the TZ30 and the G5. So yes, both in AVC HD format, which is our own format, in full high definition video, So that's 1080 in progressive mode. So that's really smooth video. So if you're videoing at home or professionally, it's going to be really smooth. And then in MPEG-4, it's in 25 frames a second. So it's still very smooth, but the output isn't as, the resolution isn't, say, as high as 1080.
So the answer will be yes as well.
Yes, as well. And of course, MPEG-4 is easy to transfer, like you said, commonly through PCs and networking devices and so on.
Definitely. So thank you for that question, Kavita. Continuing with Howard. What sound quality can I record with the GH2? Is it broadcast quality?
Okay, is it broadcast quality? I believe broadcast quality sound is recorded in NICAM stereo. You can't record in NICAM stereo on the GH2, but it is very high.
It depends where you want to broadcast it.
Yeah,
television or on Facebook.
Exactly. So the output of the sound on the GH2 is very, it's very, very high and of a very good quality.
Yeah.
But again, it's like you said, what the end use is for it.
Yeah, but exactly, that's going to be interesting because you have so many people who are annoying you pretty much with how I want the biggest amount of pixels, I want this and that, and in the end it's just like I send it via smartphone to my friends. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I've been caught out in the past of that when I've sent data over the network for my day job and sent it at maybe a photograph at 16 megapixels through an email, and then wondering why it's taken an hour for that to do that. When so the lower it is, obviously, the quicker it'll send.
So can we say, is it broadcast quality or not? We simply...
It can get very close to it, but again, it's down to the end.
Howard, I hope this is the answer you were expecting. Can you expect it? Yeah, sometimes you can. But in that case, we don't know. Andrew would like to know, are the LUMIX G cameras Wi-Fi compliant? I mean, I just know of one called the SZ5.
Yeah, and of course the SZ5 is one of our compacts. So the G series, no, unfortunately at the moment there is no Wi-Fi compatibility with any of the G series. Yes, but as we saw earlier, and we'll see later on in the week, for those of you that can't get here, please send in your questions. And those of you who are attending IFA, you'll be able to see the SZ5 in more detail, but we had some fun with that, didn't we?
I mean, ever since I had this camera in my hand and we were able just to try it out.
And you did put it back.
I feel this is going to be a feature needed in every single LUMIX camera which is about to come out.
Because we all, I mean, on the way to IFA today, I was sending photographs via my smart device to my friends and family back in the UK to show them, A, I'm doing my job, and B, to keep them in touch. But if I could then do that with a camera, with the SZ5, obviously I've got an element of that, but if I could do that in the future, then that would be, for me personally, quite an amazing thing.
I see this is going to be the future.
So I think it could be the future for a lot of cameras.
I need one of those, and I know this is going to be the future of that feature.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew, for that question. We're coming now to William H. Which G cameras shoot in RAW? As soon as it's G, so it must be professional, semi-professional, so I would say all of them.
All of them, you're absolutely right. And even the G5 we showed earlier, which is, again, half the size of, the GF5 is half the size of the G5. The sensor is still able to output that. So yes, in RAW, in JPEG, in fine JPEG and fine, and a mixture of RAW and JPEG. So yeah, absolutely, we can do that for all G series, including obviously the GH2.
So this is your answer. All of the G cameras are shooting in RAW as well. Continuing with a question coming from Matthew Kula. I want to take a LUMIX G camera to somewhere like India. Oh, where the Taj Mahal is.
Yeah.
Which can get very dusty. What sort of accessories do you have for that sort of environment?
Okay, well, we try and make our products as dust-proof as we can.
Yeah,
we talked about the FT...
Or the TZ30,
well,
which is a compact, which is not a G.
But the FT4 we compared... had a comparison to the waterproof underwater camera. Also, that's made specifically to be keep out the dust. We don't have any feature like that in our cameras, our G series cameras. And it is, I suppose, in a way, how you do look after the camera, etc. You may be able to buy third-party products to protect the camera, but Panasonic and LUMIX, we don't actually have any casing for, say, a GH2 or a G5, so you can't put them underwater. But we try and make the technology as best as we can with, to try and keep out as many elements as possible.
So not for now, but we don't know what's going to come up in the future.
Absolutely not. But at the moment, like I said, if you do have a GH2 or a G series camera and you're looking for that underwater or that dustproof, etc., then the FT4 LUMIX compact would be ideal for that.
Okay. Then other than that, safe trip to India.
Yes, enjoy your holiday.
Yeah. Oh, you never know what's going to be a holiday.
Enjoy your trip. So.
Yeah. You never know what he's up to, this Matthew Curla. Next question, hopefully, is coming. John Denham would like to know, what is the Q menu? How does it work?
Ah, Q menu, right. Well, we have the Q menu on the GH2, but we have an even more up-to-date version of the Q menu.
We're going to find it. Oh, it's here.
I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but basically it's the same on the G5. If I press the Q menu up here, there we go. We have the RAW aspect. I can move the arrow across to select AF single, which is the focusing, for example, spot focus or 23 spot focus as well. Let's bring that back up again.
But what exactly is the Q menu?
Well, it basically is it's giving me a shortcut for. Let's bring that up again.
Can you customize it?
Yeah, you can, and I'll show you that in a second. So if I was to find spot focus within the menu system, I'd have to press menu.
Oh,
I'd then have to go into record. I'd then have to search for it, and then I've lost the moment of taking the photograph I need. So to customize it, now I will have to go into here. So let's go into the custom menu, and I go all the way right down to, if I can find it in here, Q menu. It should be here somewhere. There we go, Q menu. Now it's automatically defaulted to preset, which is just along the top. So as you asked, can you customize it? Yes, you can. If I now press the Q menu again along the top, now it's presetted to what I had originally, but if I now press the spanner button, press any key, I can now drag out what I don't want.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah. Move that across and so on. And then, for example, I tend to shoot personally with
the Q stands for quick.
Yes, quick menu. So I'm going to drag in the guidelines, for example, okay? And I use that for composition. So when I'm trying to work out, try and get a really good landscape or even portraiture with friends and family. When I come back out of that, it defaults to the guideline. And now, instead of having to find it in the menu system, which can be quite long-winded, but for some users that might be what they like, I can now move across, select the standard guideline, press exit, and I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but there we go, we've got the guideline. And I can do that with almost every kind of shortcut menu.
So
so
totally
again,
makes sense.
Ease of use.
Well, so John, now you understand the Q menu just as much as I do.
Yeah,
finally. This is going to be the time for another poll, the poll where we ask you some questions, and we'd like to see the tendency there is, as I would use a LUMIX G mostly to either just simply take pictures, maybe record a video, or both. And we have about like 18 seconds until the poll will be done. What do you think is going to be more important to most of the LUMIX G users?
Again, it varies, doesn't it? GH2 probably video, GF5 probably a little bit of both. Same with the G5 as well. So I think possibly both.
Yes, actually it is. It's funny that 67% out of this poll would like to have a LUMIX G or would like to have one mostly to take pictures.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
Yes.
But 0% just for recording video.
Yeah.
It's like it leaves like 33% of those who say like, why not both?
Yeah.
And that's what I keep on telling people. If you have the choice, then keep the choice.
Absolutely. And I think because the G series has become so compact as well, you can now we've taken video technology from our video camcorders, which we'll be covering tomorrow, and put it into our cameras. So you've got that almost broadcast quality in a small body. But
isn't it kind of ironic that it used to be the way that you had a camcorder and you sold it as a special feature that you're able just to take some digital pictures? Now it's like the other way around.
It's the
Now
other
it's
way around.
like, now
Yeah.
you want to know if your
Yeah.
digital camera can also take videos, because that might be an interesting feature.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I don't want to give too much away from tomorrow, but the X900 video camcorder, the 3MOS sensor, takes 16.1 megapixel stills, in a camcorder, which is quite remarkable. So, all our technology that we're famous for is carried right through. Even if it's a small, point, click and shoot compact, right up to top-end camcorder range. So, they all have that kind of thing in common.
Great. Then coming to the next one, hopefully. Oh, he's already a little bit troubled here. we cannot switch and share the tablet PCs here. So let me have my backup questions.
Okay.
Which is great to have. John would like to know, can I use the G5 camera underwater? I mean, we pretty much
kind of covered that, didn't we? Yeah, you can't. But what we can say, if you do want to use underwater photography, the FT4 and the TZ30, you can purchase a underwater housing that will take the TZ30 underwater. So it's quite a large housing, but that is mainly for the zoom.
Yeah, but the TD30 is not to be compared to the G5.
No.
I mean, he specifically asked for the G5.
So if you want underwater photography, you can do it, but not on the G5. No,
Right.
you can't.
I mean, this is going to be kind of a crazy answer. Can I use the G5 for it? No, but the TD30. But the G5 is so much better. So what? No, just so what? That would be the right attitude towards like the customer. Coming to the next one from Moses, is the G5 and SLR? Oh, is the G5 an SLR camera or not? What is the difference?
Okay, well,
We had that earlier.
yeah, and I think obviously the viewers are asking it because there is a big difference, and the big difference is the size. So if I had the equivalent again of this in a digital SLR format, it would be quite a lot bulky and obviously a lot heavier compared to the lens we had on earlier, which was a smaller lens. This is now a little bit heavier because we've got quite a bit of glass here in the lens. But not only just the size, the weight, we've taken what is traditionally renowned with the digital SLR, the prism and the mirror box out, and we've replaced that with the sensor closer to the lens. So that's why we've got that kind of compactness of it, and hence why we call it digital SLM, M for mirrorless, so we can identify the cameras to obviously compete with digital SLR.
An interesting fact that I just found out just like a couple of months ago is one of the reasons why so many photographers that used to shoot in analog with like a classic basic camera, one of the reasons why they still remain with the mirror cameras is because the cameras are there so they can use their own lenses as well.
Yes.
Because some of them have a wide collection of lenses, and they don't really see the reason why they should get rid of all of them just in the order just to have a new camera.
Yeah.
So pretty much, I think that's also like where we have a transition right now from the way that you used to take pictures in general and how you used to take pictures now.
Yeah. Well, the lenses, I mean, obviously there's a wide amount of lenses out there for all different models of cameras. With the LUMIX Micro Four Thirds sensor digital SLM cameras, downstairs we have 16 lenses. You can use third-party lenses via adapters, and you can mix them with Olympus, who also do 4/3 cameras as well. So, there's roughly around 50 plus different lenses that you could use on the Micro Four Thirds system. So that completely now opens a new way, a new opportunity to use this technology. Whereas when it first was introduced, obviously it was quite limited. Now we have a lens, as we discussed earlier, for all different users, for all different subject matter, and they're all obviously very different sensitivity. So everyone can have fun and be creative with all different types of lenses with that.
Well, and another thing that I learned is also when asked what is the best camera to have, actually the one that you have with you in the moment that you need it.
Absolutely, and I get a lot of stick from friends, especially family, that I always carry, and work colleagues, where I carry a camera around me all the time because I never know what's going to come up, and that's just me personally. Because there could be something that I may miss and think, I need that camera, but it's
totally me.
So
totally
we're in the same club. That's good. So
it's the same club.
Just me then.
So this this has been a long answer to your question. Coming on to H Ho, I've been using a GX1 to take shots at the Olympics. I presume the last one just happened to take place in London. What GX GX1 lens and setting is best to capture fast sport?
Okay, well, again, it depends where you're sat at the Olympics. We were fortunate recently.
Distance, light.
Yeah, distance, light. I think as well, again, then what lens you're using. So if you're far away in the crowd and you are focusing on maybe an athlete that's some distance away, you'd probably want to use one of our telephoto lenses, like 100 to 300, which is, again, compatible with the GX1, as it would be with the G5 and the other cameras we've shown. What that will actually do is zoom in and probably get maybe the shoulders and the face. Again, it depends on the distance. But what's really, really important
and for the setting, it's what is it that you want to portray?
Yes.
Is it just like the moment, or
so
once you
which we were talking
like
about wide angle? If the person wanted to have the whole of the stadium,
right,
then maybe a fisheye lens. So you could actually get the curvature of the stadium, for example, or even, you know, if you wanted to get more action shot in. So again, it does vary, but all the lenses that we create will fit the GX1 as well as our other cameras as well. So, you know, there's no kind of, I'm not saying it's unlimited, but the possibilities of what you want to do are quite huge.
Okay. Hope this answers your question. Thank you for this one. We come into a question from Sharapnel. Where do you think this megapixel madness is heading? Are we going to see 3-digit sensors?
Could you say that again? Sorry.
Where do you think this megapixel madness is heading?
Madness.
Are we going to see 3-digit sensors?
Like a pop group.
But it's going to be like 100 megapixels?
Well, I think it could be. I mean,
we're already talking 8K.
Yeah, absolutely. Downstairs, the televisions, you know, the resolution of the televisions is getting bigger and bigger. And if you have seen it or haven't, I suggest that if you are here, IFA, over the next few days, have a look at it, because the detail is remarkable. Up close, pinpoint accuracy, compared to what we're watching now. And even now, what we're watching is very good. So it's taken that step even further. However, relating it to the megapixel content on a camera, it's very much down to what the end result is of your photograph. So if we're printing, again, posters or billboard posters, then you want the highest resolution output, because if you're blowing it up, you want every pixel to be pretty much perfect.
But isn't it the same with the computers? Where at a certain time you were always referring to like the speed of the processor, which you still do.
Yeah.
But the architecture of the processors have changed. Now it's not a single core; they have 4 of them.
Yeah.
So I think pretty much. I mean, this is my idea. This is just me thinking. I can imagine that it's not only a matter of the megapixels itself, right, but also like the quality of the pixel themselves, because also there take every individual photo sensor, which of course that's where lies the quality.
And you've picked up exactly, Patrice. The sensor then is really key, because then that can process whether it's a small photograph in a frame or on large size.
Exactly.
And so maybe a customer that's just printing general photographs, still wanting really, really good, you know, resolution and picture quality, and they're going to get the same at lower end 2 million pixels experience as they would maybe with 16 million. But again, 16 million will be really, really sharp. But you're probably losing a lot of memory, using a lot of memory and a lot of the processor where you may not need to.
Okay. But right now
you've got the option to change it, which is really good.
So we don't really know if it's going to be one day really 3 digits for when
it could do. And again, we've got printers at home that can print out massive posters and stuff, then that could be the way we go in the future. The higher the pixelation, the more sharper the resolution.
Right. Why not? So right now, that was your answer, and here is now the last question coming from Stefan G. Could I shoot the sort of video National Geographic does with the LUMIX G? Well, it depends. Actually, the footage that you see here right now has been shot with the LUMIX GH2.
You can. And I think, you know, at our fingertips, there's a lot of online video on demand that you can look at. Users that are using currently the GH2 or any of our cameras that are showing their own footage as an example. You know, so obviously they're sharing their experience with high quality video. Yes, you can shoot this. And the advantage of, say, the GH2 with its very superior video output is that all the different lenses that you use, that we have, you can use them in video to create, like you would with photography, but, you know, be even more creative.
But it also takes a certain kind of experience, because just to take those kind of pictures that look quite easy or simple, I mean, just knowing already that it takes a tripod to start off.
You do, but at the same time, that's why we've got Intelligent Auto.
Right.
And Intelligent Auto can help you along to try and create as best as you know.
But does it
you
also
don't
have with videos or just with pictures, with still pictures?
Yeah, it does it with still and video. So you can choose different formats, just one touch button. You see the red button on there?
Right.
And there's a red button on here. If you're in Intelligent Auto mode, you just press it. And again, depending on what lens you've got, you can be creative. If you want to be even more creative, then you've got a great camera to play about with.
So to make this question or having like a short reply to it, yes, you can. And therefore, thank you so much for all the attention that you gave us. Thank you to the expertise.
Thank you, Patrice.
It was a
Thank
pleasure
you.
once again.
Yep.
We will have to talk again like about some settings that I will need later on also to shoot such a material. It might have been that you missed out some of the question that might be also of your interest. Don't hesitate just to pay a visit to our media center, where you will have access to all the questions who has been asked here, or even more to it. Other than that, I would like to see you tomorrow here at the Panasonic booth, either live or via internet. You know where to find us. At 11 o'clock, we will be referring again about LUMIX.
Camcorders.
Camcorders. And then you're going to tell me about these 3 chips.
Yeah, 3 MOS sensors. Yeah, absolutely. We're
All
going
of
to
it
go through all that.
tomorrow at 11, Panasonic Live at IFA 2012. This was Patrice Boudibida. Thank you. Merci. Dankeschön.